Hey guys, so new video here. Long time no see. Apologize for that. Been sick, been very busy. But today I took some time to come back to making music, and I ended up writing this idea. I don't think it's a final track, if you will, but at least it's a. I think it's an idea of something that could keep evolving into something more like a final track. And I just want to make hit record and want to make a little video here sharing this new track. Um, or this new idea. So let's get to it straight. Straight into it. Okay, so here it is. If you guys for some reason this thing is repeating, so let me just fix this. In case you don't know, or you new to the channel, by the way, hit subscribe, and hit the that bell so you can get notified whenever I upload a video. But if you don't know, if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos here, you don't know. Here's reason. This is the software, the DAW that I use. It's not conventionally or a standard. People most likely will default. I don't want to say default, but would use a more standardized software DAWs like Cubase or Logic Pro. But hey, I use Reason. That's just because I've been using it for more than 20 years, and I've stuck to it. So for me to feel like comfortable without having to think a lot and figure things out and just get out my ideas into a timeline, I just I just default to Reason. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the track first, and then we can dissect each part of it. And one of the things that I want to, I streamed this. I'm not posting the stream because I streamed it in Spanish, so I don't want to mix languages here in the channel. But and it wasn't like a music Voz stream, which I'm gonna eventually start doing. Music Voz streams here on YouTube and on Twitch. Maybe maybe TikTok as well. Um, but yeah, uh, I'm just gonna go ahead and hit play, and then we can dissect all of the parts of the track. So let's go ahead and. Oh, I forgot. I was thinking, why am I mentioning this whole thing about the stream? During the stream, I had a few friends watching. One of the things that one of the questions that I popped into the stream was, what game could this work for? And I posed a question here too. What if you want to leave in the comments what kind of game you see this working for? Go ahead and leave me a comment down in the comment section. So let's hit play. So that's a track. So yeah, very simple, and it came out right away. Like, I'm sorry, I'm giving you my back, but it just came right away. Like, I turn on the stream, turn on the software like recent, put the piano, and for some reason I hit these two notes, and I like the sound of those two notes. I don't know what it is. Again, if you don't follow the channel, you this is the first time you see one of my videos. I'm not a professional musician. I'm not a trained musician. I'm self-taught. I don't even know how to play piano. So I just play around with the keyboard, and for some reason I hit this these two notes, and from there I started doing playing. I remember first, because I love like leaving spaces. For some reason, I love playing with kind of expectation. Like, right away, by default, people might expect something more like this. I don't remember because I played it the first time. I don't remember. I don't remember. But it was a little bit more expected. Something like that. It was the first iteration. I think that was. Yeah, I think it was that. Right? That was the very first thing I wrote. Um, so, but then I changed it to give it a little bit more breathing room. Right, that space there. For some reason, I like it. I felt like the other one was a little bit more expected, so I play around with that, and that was it. That was it. Then I added some chords. Um, well, then I kind of looked for an instrument, right? No, 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 no. Then I added some chords, and the chords, I don't know how to play them. I think it was, no, was it this? No, I don't remember. Yeah, it was this. I added these chords, um, like this. Yeah, it was just one step down, like this, and then like this, and then I think it was this. Yeah, like that. So I added those chords, but then I decided to go with doing them um arpeggiated like this, single notes instead of the the chords, right? And that's where I ended with this. Then I looked for an instrument that, for some reason, gave this one gave me a vibe, and I can't explain it. It's just something that speaks to me, and I hear it, and okay, this instrument speaks to me for some reason, and I just stuck with it. So it's very processed. So let me just go ahead and turn this back on. Um, okay. So it's very processed. So let me just turn off this reverb thing, the ROM. Is the same thing that the piano did. What I usually do is write it in piano and then duplicate the same MIDI string or whatever, the notes, into the instrument that I like, and I keep the piano. Sometimes I just mute it, or sometimes I use it in the track. But in this case, I did use it. But this is it. Then I added those chords, arpeggiated, and that's the motif. Now, as I evolve and as I keep working on the track, I think, because I kind of feel like it repeats a lot, and that's one thing that bothers me. I always like, even though the track, once I kind of started kind of writing or composing the whole track instead of just a block, um, I kept the track moving forward and changing, but the whole motif thing kind of bothers me a little bit, that continuously repeat. And I might change a little bit of that, so in the future. But then I did this, I don't know if I call it harmony, but it's just the same thing with a different instrument that's more like a pad. So it gives it this, it makes it bigger. Right? So it gives it some little detail there, texture. And then from there I just started adding and adding and adding textures. Like I did add some harp in the background to kind of, and it gives it this very magical medieval kind of vibe to it, which then it started morphing into that kind of style. Which gave me, then in my mind, I'm thinking of The Witcher for some reason. Um, the previous track that I posted here in the channel was an atmospheric track that I used for a Witcher scene. I downloaded a Witcher just walking in the map without music, and then I put the atmospheric. So I don't know, it's been a thing lately, The Witcher. But yeah, and then I added those three notes on a higher octave, add a little magical thing that I really like, and this is how it sounds, everything together. Not the piano. Then I added bass with a cello. right? A little bass with a cello here, which I can play here. Very low. Might add a little bit more, but for now, that's what I've done. What else? I did add some drums, but I I did leave I did leave the drums for when the build up, like kind of the climax of the track, if you will. And then I kept adding some texture, like I added some bells, tube bells. So this is how it, right? Um I added, I don't know what this is. I'm sorry, don't follow my organization and naming convention. I'm really bad. So, yeah, to add tension to it, I added then some brass, some horns and such, and strings. So I think, what is this? Oh no, these are where are the strings? Where are my strings? Oh, down here, okay. Right? And that's for the end, for the climax. Right? Once I have this block, once I have this block, let's just play all the stuff together of the block. Right? Once I have my block, kind of my beat, if you will, and then I go and start building the song. And I know that my block is basically what, well, usually, right? How I do, sorry, how I improvise is, sorry, again, I've been under the weather. I really apologize for coughing. But what I do is kind of build up towards that block, which has all of the instruments, like most of the stuff playing all together. So I see that as my climax. Doesn't mean I'm gonna just leave it to that. I added more, even more stuff here after I build the track. But then I come here and I place my block here on top, which you can see how all the instruments I laid out, and I just start blocking some of the instruments so I can then start with just the motif, right? And here in this case, I added some strings because I felt like I needed this strings to give it a little bit more drama. Right? Some texture there. So just leave the motif, right? And then here I unblock the harp. So the harp comes in. Again, always moving forward. That's intentional, right? And then I add the chords and I add a little bit more of the harp, the higher notes of the harp, and so on and so forth until I build the whole thing. In this case, when I get to my climax, which is here, right? basically most of the instruments from my block are playing there. I wanted to play that block twice, but I didn't want to repeat the same thing twice. So what I did was I added some voices, which are these, right? And then I manually added also some timpani, these, right? This, right? And I think some crashes and here. Well, I'm missing a crash here, I think. Where is it? Maybe it's here. Exactly. So, and that's it. That's how I build the track again. I'll build my block with all of the with the motif and all of its harmonies and percussions and everything. And then I build towards that as my climax in the track. When I start then laying out the song. So again, I'm gonna play it again just for the sake of it. Um, and that's it. If you like this video, thanks for watching. I'm so bad at this. So if you like this video, thanks for watching. If you liked it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the bell. I'm gonna play the track, and that's gonna be it for this video. If you liked it, leave me comments. What would you change? This is a work in progress, so if you wanna make suggestions, for sure go to the comments. If you want more videos like this, go to the comments. And if you like some tutorials on Reason, just ask for whatever you want in the comments, and make any requests for me to react. Soon I'm gonna be making a reaction video for Diablo 4 soundtrack, which it's one of the most impressive soundtracks I've heard lately. Diablo 4, the latest expansion, Lord of Hatred. Amazing. If you don't play Diablo, go and look for that soundtrack and listen to it. It's beautiful. And then they also have a behind the scenes of that, like a making of the soundtrack. It's 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 S tier. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Hit play and hope you liked it. And see you in the next video. Thanks. I forgot to mention I forgot to mention this texture. This is a solar, which is this plugin. I apologize. I already said goodbye and I'm still talking. So bad at this. Where is this? It's solar. It's tricky because I did some playing around with it. Oh, here it is. So is this plugin by Spitfire Audio? I just took this preset at burn, and the thing is that I added then a arpeggiator to it, and that's why it makes that sound of, right. I don't know. I just wanted to add like a texture under, like a bed texture to the track. So this one of those plucks. It's kind of the sound of that effect or of that sample. It's like hitting a metal or something. Then the arpeggiator does the rest of, arpeggiating the note, and it creates that pattern, right? And I just thought it was interesting. and it keeps playing throughout the track. You kind of stop listening to it, but if I take it away, you kind of feel that something is missing. So those little things I really like adding to tracks because it's not always what you sometimes it's what you hear and not necessarily what you listen, right? There's a difference between hearing and listening. And if you listen to that sound, you'll find it in the mix. But if you're listening, let's say, to the motif and other stuff, you're still hearing that texture in the background. Your brain, your ears are still perceiving that. When it's not there, you kind of miss it. Um, but anyways, I'm going into a philosophical thing here. Anyways, I forgot to mention that I added that texture in the background. It's not in the block. It's in the throughout the track. And I added it. It was one of the last steps that I did. Anyways, that's it. I'm gonna hit play. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.